everybody. Becky Liggero here for CoinGeek.com with Zeming Gao here in Berlin at the IEEE COINS Conference. So today we talked about blockchain, we talked about AI, two areas where you have quite a bit of knowledge. And I know that data is the connector between these two technologies. So tell me what some of the biggest challenges we are having with data are right now today.
We're facing three kinds of problems. One is the legitimacy. That relates to the ownership of data. And the second one is really the reliability, because data is everywhere and have all these unnecessary duplicates. And not only is a matter of storage, but also the system have trouble to really identify reliable sources. So we really need not only a single source of truth, we actually need a universal single source of truth. And the third problem is what I call entropy, is the system as information system as a thermodynamic system. When you don't have a proper kind of data structure and you allow AI to do its own thing, gradually it's going to lose coherency and you have the maximized entropy. The system is going to be in trouble.
Yeah. Don't want the system in trouble. We want our data to be clean. We don't want garbage in, garbage out. Talk to me about the blockchain and how this is going to help with some of the data issues that we have and how it's going to provide interoperability capabilities.
Well, blockchain so far is the only viable solution we have now. If we don't have a system to efficiently manage the creators' rights, when I say creators, I'm not talking about only the big shots, authors and all that. Every individual, if you participate in this digital age, you're a creator. And we don't have an efficient system to manage creators' rights as owner, and that data gradually becomes illegitimate. And reliability, really the solution is not today's database. Today's database itself, standing alone can be very efficient, reliable, but they don't connect with each other very efficiently. Beyond that is the entropy problem. It has to do with the definition of intelligence. My view is that AI really, truly is not generative, it's synthetic. It's synthetic in a powerful, efficient way to provide us reorganized human knowledge, which we don't necessarily possess. Somebody else created that. We enjoy the availability of the collective human intelligence, which is very good. But fundamentally, it's not generative, it's a synthetic. If our system doesn't have efficient ownership, and gradually the creators will be discouraged. People lose intellectual property rights, and you see the innovation will eventually die. The system would, in the beginning, you might have a very, very efficient, effective system. Everyone enjoys it. But gradually, you see that nothing new is going to come out of that.
Well, what do you think the future holds for AI and artificial general intelligence? Are we going to get there one day? Or is it just going to be the way that it is, but superpowered?
Depends on how you define AGI. They're talking about AGI to be the multifaceted model kind of structure. If that's the AGI, I think AGI will come. We will eventually see kind of artificial intelligence that seems to be general intelligence. The thing can see, can actually speak, and can listen, all that. From a common sense, you're probably facing a future AGI, you might have difficulty to differentiate. But today, a lot of people are pushing for a different idea. Their definition of AGI is not merely functionally multifaceted. Not only would have consciousness, but it would actually become super intelligence that surpasses human being. I don't believe in that. AI is already a lot more efficient than us. They're already a lot more powerful. I think it will get even more powerful. But human being, we don't only have arithmetic logic. We actually have intuitive logic. That part is not programmable. Machines will never have that. And even beyond that, I don't believe machines will ever gain consciousness. So in that sense, if that's the AGI, I don't believe AGI is going to come.
And just to summarize here, tell me the connection between blockchain and AI and why these two technologies are so interconnected.
It's about data management. It goes back to the three problems AI is facing. I think currently a very scalable public blockchain is the only way that gives us data legitimacy and data reliability. Decentralized data ownership really is the basic incentive for individual participation, decentralized participation of the economy. I call it digital humanity. It will not be a closed system. AI in the future will be doing our digital labor, and which we don't want to do. But people can actually, we have our own sovereignty. We become the input to the system. So the system eventually is not only efficient, but it's continue to be alive, not reaching the maximum entropy of the thermodynamic system, which is death.
Blockchain is our hope. I love that so much. And thank you again so much for all of the brilliant work that you put out on your blog and for being here today. It's been a real pleasure to chat with you and learn from you. Thank you.
Well, you're welcome, Becky.
You were here to talk about AI, which is your expertise. You've been studying it for many years, and I think the intersection of blockchain and AI since 2017. So happy to have you here sharing your expertise with us. Tell me, what made you come all the way out here to Berlin to speak on panels today?
The two technologies are intertwined to make a better world, and we need to communicate that to the people, to as many people as possible. Yeah. These conferences have this unique capability of gathering the smartest people around, so we need to persuade first those people so that they can convince everybody else. So it is really a pleasure being here and being invited in this event. We had the opportunity to present our latest work and a couple of ideas that we have, and I think that so far it went fine.
I loved your panel. I think all of you brought such a unique perspective and really just very thoughtful and very educational. So thank you for that. I'm just going to have you elaborate to our audience a couple of points that you talked about on the panel. I know that you said that AI is both overrated and underrated. And can you tell us why that is and how that is?
Artificial intelligence is overrated because people tend to anthropomorphize. We think that our creations looks like us, you know. We tend to anthropomorphize our creations. A lot of people that are actively involved in the research of AI and say, okay, large language models are really understanding what you're talking about. It's not the case. I think that we are dealing with a highly advanced technology. That technology will definitely get better in the future, but we're far from what we perceive as understanding for humans. And that is very critical for communicating, because a lot of people do not understand the difference. And I don't blame them, you know. You need to be an expert in these things in order to have this understanding in that depth. I think that it will get better in the future in terms of this technology and how we can utilize it to advance science and technology. And I definitely think that intersection and fusion with blockchain is going to be really interesting on how we can advance this AI technology for the whole world. We discussed a little bit on this matter, and one of the main keys in this venture is to actually gather the best data that we can, and we need to have the absolute truth of the data set, and the data set needs also to be, apart from accurate, highly diverse. So in an ideal form, we will have as many people involved as possible, and they will produce this data so that we can do the machine learning to an algorithm.
Yeah, so can you just define for us some of the problems that this marriage of AI and blockchain will be solving? I know you just said how it's going to make things better, but what are the problems right now that they'll be fixing?
Okay, one of the problems is called AI hallucination, and one other problem is AI bias. So AI bias is basically inferred by the team of the people who do the tokenization procedure. When you have a huge amount of data, like let's say a big data set that contains a lot of images, and you have like billions of images, and you have about 300 or 400 people that they do the classification procedure, then some of them say, okay, I'm very bored now, let's pretend that we did that part. And this is an error that is being accumulated inside the machine, the algorithm. The AI bias is also the bias that people have and say, let's say I'm a Democrat and you are a Republican, and I am in the team that does the data set, and I transfer my bias of my own self and my team into the model. And we've witnessed that in a couple of models. And the main problem here is that if you need to tackle this problem, you need to have a high volume of people in order to get involved. And those people need to also classify as best as they can. And how can we do that? We can do it with micropayments, because if we imagine in the not so far future that we have a lot of devices gathered around the world, and each device has an IP version 6, which is infused with blockchain technology, then every transaction will be recorded on chain. And those data are really gold for machine learning. This is basically the whole idea.
Oh, I love it. It's such an interesting space. And I know that all the craze is now about ChatGPT. Everyone's talking about it. I've finally downloaded it and gave it a whirl. And I know in the panel you were talking about some of the differences between version 4 and version 3. Can you just let our audience know here a bit of the developments that we've seen in ChatGPT and what version 4 has in store for us?
Okay, this is closed source. That means that we don't really know what is going on behind the scenes, and that is by design. Of course, Sam Altman says, okay, we're keeping this safe from the people so that people do not use this technology for bad purposes and so forth. I think that's not the case. I think that whenever something is not transparent, then something wrong is going on. And in my opinion is that they are using a lot of data from like a scrap from the internet that contains about 410 billion of byte tokens that you basically they are basically classified inside the model, and nobody knows what this data contain, and nobody knows about the intellectual property of this data. Nobody knows if they contain data that shouldn't be there in the first place. And we discussed a little bit and got fun about it, about the ability of ChatGPT to produce working keys for Windows 10. Where did he get it from? So, in my opinion, that technology needs to be transparent, and blockchain technology will help out everybody in order to have this highly diverse and highly accurate data sets. I think that also another problem is that the development of large language model, because this is a very expensive process. If you do it on the blockchain, you compartmentalize all these tiny little bits of information, and they are all labeled and automatically recorded. So you don't need a separate team to do all the work for you. And that also removes AI bias and also removes AI hallucination, which is the problem that I was trying to say before, when you put wrong tokens on the wrong labels.
I have $1 million question for you here, because leading up to this conference, my husband and I were talking about AI, and I told him that you were going to be here, and he's like, yeah, I think it's going to become smarter than people in the future. We're going to get taken over by machines. It's going to be smarter than people. Okay. What do you think? Is this going to happen or not?
Okay, this is a question that we get a lot, because people are getting afraid of every new technology, and everybody says, "Oh, AI will take our jobs" and so forth. The reality is that an AI will not take our jobs. People who know how to work with AI will take our jobs. So in the future, I think that there will be people who are actively work with AI technology and those who are not. And I think that in the long run, it is just like telephone and mobile phones right now. Everybody has it. We think our lives before the smartphone and say, how could we? I mean, I'm able to navigate from my home to my work and so forth, and see the traffic and blah, blah, blah. And right now we don't have the big picture yet. I think that AI will probably be personalized in the near future. It will be able to be stored inside mobile devices, even our smartphones. And I would like to see them being private, not used by big companies just like, let's say, OpenAI and Microsoft and Google to get our reinforcement learning from human feedback, because that's the way how they make this model better. And say, we give it for free to you as long as you press the down the down hand when something is wrong. So basically, they employ you to do their job. I want to make this clear because it's not for the most people.
Oh, well, exciting times ahead. That's all I have to say. Thank you so much. Looking forward to following more of your work and seeing you in another city sometime soon.
Thank you.
And thank you guys so much for watching. It's Becky Liggero for CoinGeek.com.
Bitcoin mining, Bitcoin wallet, blockchain, stablecoins, MetaNet, the evolution of money. Everybody is talking about Bitcoin today, but what exactly is it? Learn the basics from experts. Learn what Bitcoin is, how it works, and why it matters. Blockchain 101, your ultimate guide to the fundamentals of blockchain.